again. Specter skeleton Trance. And I brought a new toy from Mr. Vane's collection. Yes, it is a quote-unquote toy. It is a practice sword. It's very soft. A soft coating on the outside. And inside it's a very rigid, very hard piece of wood inside. And obviously it is made a replica of the Master Sword from the Legend of Zelda series. In particular, it is Link's primary weapon. A friend of mine came upon this several years ago, and knowing Mr. Vane's affinity for Link as well as swords, gifted this beautiful practice sword to Mr. Vane. Now, I brought it on at this moment to have something relatable to the rest of the world, as I do understand that previous videos from this InVain Site channel are, well, honestly, not very relatable to the general population. A lot of rambling and just talking about things that really don't make sense. At least not yet, I hope. We were contemplating and actually did want to make a channel that discussed more relevant and topics to our likings, to that our knowledge, and that were more relatable to the viewing population, or what could be the viewing population. However, two things have pretty much kept that from happening. One is our very unfortunately limited editing capabilities. At one time, our editing capabilities were more sophisticated than they are now. Now we are hindered with only a most pedestrian of editing programs. So a lot of the things that we wanted to do, we are unable to do at this time, so we had to scratch those. The other thing is that the subjects we want to speak of are vastly already being covered in other channels. And these other channels are, well, they're well established, having been on for many years, and have become way more sophisticated, way more formatted, better formatted, more professionally done, better researched than we could do. Matter of fact, if we tried to do any videos upon any of these subjects that we would like to talk about, say Star Wars, comics, movies, television, music, well, we would probably just go to one of these other channels and watch them, get the information from them. So we're not big on wanting to plagiarize in that manner. Yes, I know everybody's researching somebody else and it all comes down to retelling or re-saying and giving your own insights to subjects at hand, subjects discussed. It's just not something we felt we were in the best position to be doing. So, what do? We talk about random BS that no one, well, very few, if any, would have any idea what we're speaking of. We've always liked producing some sort of entertainment in some way, shape, or form. And of course, being the way things are now, sitting idle, stuck in quarantine, has really driven us to want to do something else. So, at this moment, since we're not going to give you any relative or useful information about any subjects that we would care to discuss, let us talk about some of these other channels. I'm not going to go into specifics about things. I just want to mention, yes, this is probably a little, I don't know what this is. Name dropping, if you want to call it, whatever. We watch a lot of YouTube channels. And that's not just been since the quarantine. It's been for the last several years. Since Mr. Vane went into exile, well, we've been forced to find whatever means of entertainment available. And YouTube has provided a wide variety of choices, of course. So, of course, I want to thank everybody who has contributed in this manner. We do enjoy many of your channels, and I would like to, just for this moment, mention a few that are some of our favorites. Well, first and foremost, since he has probably 100 YouTube channels, I want to mention the Simon Whistler channels such as Business Blaze, Today I Found Out, Top Tens, and Biographics, Geographics. Sure, there are others, because like I said, he's got quite a few. And there's the History Guy, a lot of good history stuff on his. If you want to get Star Wars, there's Getsley's and Generation Tech. Those are very good ones. There's others, I'm sure, but these are the ones that come to mind that I watch the most. That's all it comes down to. They're the ones I personally watch the most of. JLS Comics, it's more for us, more recently discovered. Very nice if you want to talk about, well, comics. If you want to talk about comics, there's a good one. I don't want to get too much because I could just sit here and ramble off channel after channel, and I don't want to get too much into this. Really, we want to say a lot, but we have so little time, and I don't want this to go too long. So I'll just keep it short right here and cut it off. That way, my rambling just doesn't become a long ramble as it already has. See you later, y'all.